Hello, welcome back to It's New. Barry Schwartz here with me, Greg Finn. Hey, Greg, how are you?
Doing great. How are you?
Good, good. Yeah, I'm fine. I'm all right. I'm okay. Yeah. So it's just us again. Mordy, I think, is on a plane and still Crystal's vacationing, I believe. That being said, I'm going to talk about a couple things. One, Reddit blocking Bing and other search engines, not Google, and also Microsoft launching the new Bing generative search experience, not to be confused with the search generative experience from Google. Greg, what are you talking about?
And I'm going to be talking about the upcoming infiltration of ads into Google's AI overviews.
Okay, so first up, it looks like Reddit decided to block all search engines except for Google. We reported a few weeks ago, that Reddit was not blocking Google with their robots.txt file. It was some type of cloaking method where where Reddit was serving via IP detection Google search engines a special robot.txt file that looked like it was blocking everything, but it wasn't blocking Google. Now I noticed via Mark William Cook, and then a lot of media covered it shortly later, that if you did a site command for Reddit in Bing search, you would be getting and you filter that by the last week, you wouldn't be getting any new content from Reddit. And then I reached out to Microsoft because it was almost impossible to tell if Bing was actually being blocked, because I had to have a way of actually validating it by using IP addresses from Bing. Whereas with Google, I was able to use their rich results tests and various tests to see what it would look like. That being said, Microsoft did confirm with me late last night, basically saying, yeah, we are respecting the robots.txt file commands from Reddit. And basically they said, we respect the robot.txt standard. Bing stopped crawling Reddit after they implemented their updated robots.txt file on July 1st, which prohibits all crawling of their site. The Verge was told by Reddit that we have been in discussions with multiple search engines, and we have been unable to reach agreements with all of them, since some of them are unwilling or are unable to make enforceable promises regarding their use of Reddit content, including their use of AI. So basically, Reddit's taking a stance and saying, if you're willing to pay us $60 million per year, that's what Google's paying Reddit, we will go ahead and let you have access to our content. Otherwise, not. I doubt Reddit would have done this if they didn't have a deal with Google, in my
Yeah.
opinion. But now that they have a good deal with Google, they can do this, right?
Yeah, I mean, you would think. I think it's probably a smart move by Reddit, I would imagine. Like I don't know. It's one of those where you kind of really see both points of this. And I mean, at least for everybody who's in SEO and complaining about every answer being Reddit, you now have a new alternative. Just go use Bing.
Yeah, I saw a lot of responses to that saying, "Great, I'm going to start using Bing now." But it's interesting. It's just weird. It's like, people are like, "Oh wait, Google's paying 60 million." Google's like, maybe Google's deal with Reddit was that they have to block all other search engines. I don't think that's true. I just think people aren't, most searches aren't willing to pay to have access to public content. That's not even their content. It's in our platform, but it's content that you and I maybe write or something. Whatever. That being said, it's very interesting. And I wonder if anything's going to change. Reddit could do this, but like small sites cannot do this. So it's just interesting to see this.
Yeah, and I think just another point on that too. Like, it would be really helpful to have better command of what can crawl and consume and take in information with some of these, with all the different files out there. Like, I know we can't get out of AI overviews unless we want to get out of Google and things like that. Like, some of these things would be really helpful to make it more manageable, because I'd assume that both Microsoft and Reddit would like to be having Reddit on Microsoft, at least in Bing rather. So
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they're making it difficult, and I think it's on purpose. And it would be nice to have more granular controls about where my content could show and so forth within search or AI or different platforms. But I totally agree. I think Google and Microsoft said they are working on some new standard for this, but who knows when that's going to come or if it ever will come. Talking about AI, Microsoft announced their new Bing generative search experience. It's just funny when that name came out, because Google's well, they retired the name, kind of. It's still a labs, but the Google search generative experience, this is the big generative search experience. So GSE versus SGE. And it's interesting. It's very, very cluttered, but it seems fairly useful. And Microsoft Bing search is really showing citations everywhere with links and more links and links everywhere, which makes it a little bit cluttered, but I think it's usable. I know Glenn Gabe said it was a lot on a page, a little bit too much, but it seems like an interesting experience. And Microsoft said they're testing this on a small percentage of user queries. I'm able to see this in Chrome in the US, but I find it's pretty interesting to see, and I hope to see more of it actually. So
it looks like a newspaper. There's so many columns and things going on. It looks like a newspaper.
Yeah, you got the traditional search results on the right-hand side, which is weird. It should be in the middle, but in the middle is this new generative AI experience where it has search results and blocks of answers and related sections, and then the core search results are on the right-hand side, which are just plain. So I think it's an interesting experience. I wonder how this will change over time, but I don't know. I don't know if this is not it's like people are saying this is Bing's AI overviews, and I'm not sure if this is much more than just AI overviews. This is AI is taking over the search results, and we're putting the traditional search results in the right-hand side panel for you to look at if you want to look at it over there. Super interesting.
Yeah, and speaking of AI and the search engine results pages, from the recent call on Google earnings, Philip Schindler, the Senior Vice President and Chief Business Officer for Google, said that they are going to be soon actually start testing search and shopping ads in AI overviews for users in the US. The exact quote was, "We announced GML soon will be actually starting to test search and shopping ads in AI overviews for users in the US, and they will have the opportunity to actually appear within the AI overview in a section labeled as sponsored when they're relevant to both the query and the information in the AI overview, and really giving us the ability to innovate here and take this to the next level." So we've talked about this, constantly, that we saw a big surge in AI overview appearances about a week and a half ago. I think that was down to about 7%. I'm not sure if that's risen yet. I think the key here is, again, to get people using AI overviews. I know we talked about some of those different citations that are being shown in AI overviews that might make it more useful with some of those links that you covered over on Search Engine Roundtable. And I think, again, we just need AI overviews to be prevalent, and then we can put ads in it. That's sort of like my take. I'd like to see that adoption rate go up a little bit higher for AI overviews before we really start putting ads into there.
Yeah, I think once they figure out the ads, that will happen. I think until then, they probably won't show the AI overviews that often. And also, talking about these new citations thing, I saw a desktop version of it, and they put the citations on the right-hand side of the AI reviews. It makes it much more clickable. So I updated that story that I wrote earlier this week about the new citation links to show the actual example of the desktop version of that. So definitely take a look at that.
And that has that link button, right? To the right.
It has a link button next to the thing. And then if you're on mobile, it puts those below, I believe. But if you're on desktop, it actually shows it right on the right-hand side, the actual search results box, which makes it much more in your face and also much more available to actually stick ads in it that are actually visible and easy to click on. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. And Google said they're going to be testing it soon, but they also said that they'll be testing it soon back at Google Marketing Live a few months ago. So we'll see when they test it.
Yeah, and just one note on there, some of the shopping ads I think are pretty simple to see how that's going to play out. But some things that you can do to get ready for the AI overviews, if you go back and watch the GML, there's like a quick couple of cuts that happened there. But you can see exactly what appears to be what an RSA would be like in the AI overview. It's the pool cleaner that kind of comes down and up. And you can see that the image is very large. So making sure you have good image assets in all of your campaigns could potentially really help make that work, as AI overviews are, pretty big and visual.
Yeah, for sure. And I just saw Will Reynolds actually post about how he actually started to get some phone calls from prospects from people using AI search, where it's citing his company and his research and so forth. So maybe this is the future of getting clients and visibility from AI search engines by producing great content that those AI engines actually cite you. But we'll see. It's very early on, so keep that in mind. And that's it. So I think we're going to be back on Monday. Thanks so much for everybody for listening and subscribing and doing all those YouTube-y things. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.